my gosh, we're live with Gene Key of the Day. It's so wonderful to be celebrating the new moon with you. And we have a dragonfly wearing glasses. Hey, dragonfly, I know that you're here to support us in seeing reality more clearly, but I would like my glasses back. Can I have my glasses back? Thank you. You know, I can see from my heart, but sometimes it's also nice to see clearly the symbols, archetypes, and planets of the current moment. We are tuning in to see what's this new moon all about. Energies are pretty thick and rich out there. And so let's take a look. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Yes, we have a packed Capricornian realm. The realms inside of us that are working about incarnating our soul through the ego so that we can bring our service and our vocation into the world. So much is happening inside of this realm. And in the New Year's video I did, we were talking about the transforming of corruption inside of our social structures. And today I want to get more into the personal aspects of Capricorn and where we negotiate our ambitions versus the service, the natural calling that flows from us. So the question here is, what's been motivating your ambitions? Sometimes the shadow side of Capricorn can bring about a sort of like pushing to try to get to some achievements because of some lacking esteem. So if we're sitting from a disempowered place in self, then we look to our external achievements for validation. And so this Capricorn new moon, I feel, is drawing, it's such an opportunity for, and there must be a lot of mojo. I know for myself, like the Pearl virtual retreat we're doing for the Gene Keys, we're entering into the brand. So there's so much energy around vocation and brand and how do I get my skills and gifts out into the world. And there's this refinement here of how do we align more to what we're truly responsible for from a place of empowered self. Because when I fill my cup and I patch that, seemingly leaky, place where self-esteem kind of seeps out and I need to have you love me for my own self-worth. If I'm actually sitting from a place of self-empowerment, then I go out and I effortlessly achieve my calling. I'm in the flow of my service. It just naturally happens. And that's the higher essence of Capricorn to me, is so much about that. So I'm curious how your professional lives are being accelerated right now and how we can make the adjustments of where we may be motivated from lacking self-esteem and feeling like we have to effort and then we get really tired and all that. And then moving into that stream of purpose is such an incredible gift here. And I want to focus here now on the Gene Key. We're in, the new moon is happening in the 61st Gene Key. Moving from psychosis to inspiration and sanctity at the divine Siddhic essence. So this is pointing to an archetype that points to our minds and how knowledge gets, we basically create a world based around knowledge and the sort of obsessive mind that needs to know and has its belief systems and really functions through the world. So psychosis is like thinking the world is the way our mind sees it. But it's like come on, dude, like take off those filters. I don't mean to dudify, you know, I don't mean to make masculine this pattern, but it is this, you know, mental overlay of reality. And inspiration just gets down in there and breaks open the light from inside of us by deconstructing the constructs and allowing life force to just flow. So creativity is really the key, the secret key behind inspiration and behind the spiritual process and liberating ourselves. So let's actually play the game. I think that would be fun, because the Gene Key of the Day game that this is the board of the Gene Key of the Day game. It really opens up creative contemplation and gets us exploring our mediums and working with the oracle. So I'm going to roll the planet die right now and see where it points us, and then pull a card and see what happens. And it's really cool that you guys are here with me. This is rare that I do Gene Key of the Day live. You're alive. We are alive. And here we call upon what planetary energy would like to come and speak its archetypal information to us. Ha! The sun. The sun itself. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, before we get into the musical aspect. Good, we're feeling the inspiration. The sun is the freaking star in our solar system. It is our essence coming alive. And so, of course, it's part of this new moon, the sun and the moon having a moment of seed planting, a moment of communion in this 61st Gene Key in Capricorn. So let's pull a card, the contemplation cards, to see what's being called for us to explore with the sun. Okay, shuffle, shuffle. Who's going to draw this one? Does anyone want to draw? Kirsten, you're the one who's commenting the most. So Kirsten, how about you draw this card, okay? Kirsten's going to draw the card. Oh, we have a transit card. This is when you play the Gene Key of the Day game, and it's not necessarily aligned to the planetary transits. This is like your game piece moving forward or backwards on the board. So just to see, oh, Susie, next time, maybe we'll pull another card, because this transit card says roll the number die and move counterclockwise that many keys. I'm going to go get the number die real quick because I didn't bring it in here. Okay, this is so fun, guys. Okay, number die. So I'm just going to see how many spaces. 3. So what it's showing us here is it's saying advance your token, advance the sun, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. So it's actually pointing me, and you know what? I'm going to count the one we're in because it counts. 161. That's where we're at. 2, the next phase will be the 60th Gene Key, from limitation to realism and justice. 3, 41, the start codon. So somehow the cards today told us to pay attention to the start codon. This is the Gene Keys New Year, also the Rave New Year in human design. And it's the starting point. It's like the real New Year elementally, where there's this complete phase shift and you begin a new cycle. So what might the sun be sharing about how inspiration and the untapping and unleashing of our creativity is going to show the way towards the start codon and what we want to intend? Oh, The new moon is a seed. So what do we want to intend for this start codon for the fresh new year? So consider, what are your intentions? And we're gonna pull another card. So Susie, do you want to pull the card if you're still here? Susie's gonna pull the card. Okay. Even if she's not here, she's still pulling the card. It's a holographic universe, folks. This is really all intertwined. So, shuffling the cards and pulling a card. Another transit card. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, retrograde conjunct. So, move clockwise on the board until you meet the next planetary token. So what that's bringing us to is it's saying take the sun and move it back till you conjunct the previous planet in the chart. So what it's showing is that just over the last week, the sun has been conjunct Pluto in the sky. Let's bring our attention to that. Pluto the Transformer has been unearthing and revealing a lot of shadow content inside of the collective psyche in regards to the Capricornian archetype, the patriarchy, the system, but also those ambitious, masculine, rigid, limiting patterns inside of ourselves. So Pluto, this deep transformer, was just activated by the sun, which only comes into conjunction with Pluto once a year. So it came and it was sitting there. And over this last week, I have witnessed so much deep transformational work inside of my personal life, inside of my community's life, inside of the people I work with, and then seeing just the tumultuous, change-making nature of the terrain out there. You go out in the psychic weather and it's like, you know, whirling lots of material up for us to face. So how has the alchemical, transformative aspect of your brain been lit up and actual real traction? Capricorn is an earth sign. How has your consciousness been showing you where the mess is? Yeah, so where's the mess? And then bringing about real transformative work when we can face into that work. So much of it is about how comfortable can we get with the uncomfortable states. Oftentimes when the discomfort comes in, we just want to get the heck away. Just on an even subtle neurochemical level. We're just like, hey, gonna do this thing, gonna eat that food, I'd rather not, you know. But when we face in to those uncomfortable places, that's where the transformation happens. And that's what's been happening for me in my life, is all these opportunities to really face in to the discomfort and peer. When we face right in, ooh, that's when we become the incredible flower, fruit, beautiful beings that we are. Okay. Feeling comfy in the uncomfy. That's right. That's right. Okay, who else wants to pull a card? Because I think 3 is going to be the number of this new moon session. Who would like to pull a card? Who would like to pull a card? Pull a card. Okay, if no one is going to say me. Okay, Carol. Carol. Okay. Carol's pulling a card. Maha! Carol is a poet, isn't she? So, it's a creative contemplation card. So we are going to pause and write a poem inspired by this key and then recite it. So this is for the 61st gene key, where the new moon is happening. So Carol, I I think if you want to pause and write a little poem and then type it into the comments, that would be incredible. I'm going to simultaneously do the same so we have some ongoing entertainment for our live audience out there. So let's just take a studio break, and I wish I had some music for you to go la 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 la. I love you, Brett. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to write it. I'm just going to recite. I'm just going to improv it because we don't have a commercial break. We will do commercials at the end, but... Okay, so poetry on the 61. There are ducks on my pond, and as they move across the water, they show me how life can ripple when I am in stream with life as it flows like the padded feet that naturally and easily just, flutter in the water. You guys, this is not my realm. I'm really not a poet. I'm nervous right now. I'm trying to make up a really good poem in my head. And Carol is writing an amazing poem right now. Okay, restart, because that's okay. I have judgment, integrity, perfection as my life's work. I get to do that. I get to judge myself and then, pause and come back in integrity. Okay, poetry. Inspiration is the breath of my higher calling, making its way to the edge of my becoming. So in order to allow for the beauty to make way, I must break and say, hey, to all the psychosisly built and entrenched architectural malfunctions inside of my brain, and I must break them down and say, I love you, you very dysfunctional part of my life. It's okay that you really thought that that was the way that life was. I laugh, but I really am empathetic to your ways. I'm gonna take over now, though, and poetically say that you get to be a part of this rapturous, creative, unfolding upsurge of sanctity, of the divine making its way into every breath and every expression of life. There. A poem for you. Carol, do you have a poem written that you want to share in the comments yet? I might have been distracting you. And even if, a feral part of me that cannot be restrained keeps with the pack and yet expresses the collective urge to run free. I want to read it one more time. A feral part of me that cannot be restrained keeps with the pack and yet expresses the collective urge to run free. I love it. That's fucking awesome. Oh my gosh. Wow. That really brings in the Capricorn is very much the tribe. It's very much how we come together as a tribe and knit ourselves into the collective, the pack. And Aries is the individual. It's the wolf inside of the pack. And this new moon is actually square Uranus, the revolutionary wolf who's just got that urge to, what did you say? The feral part of me that cannot be restrained, like that, just be like raw in its power. That it's relating to this new moon. It's challenging us. So the wolf in the pack is challenging the collective, and it's not like over here. It's not the lone wolf. It's plugged in. Uranus has been in Aries revolutionizing this concept of being a lone wolf and saying, hey, our lone wolfdom is actually, we are a part of a pack. So be the most individuated, excellent being you can be, but to bring people together, to be together. And that's that Capricornian. Let's be together in our wolfdom. Let's be feral and have that urge to be free express itself in the structures of our governance, in the ways that we collaborate and bring our service together. So that was pretty cool. I love that divination, Carol, and that was a phenomenal poem. Let's keep going. This is really fun. Who wants to pull a card next? The trunk and the roots of the world tree. We have a phenomenal astrologer with us, everyone. Give a hand to Brett Joseph. Gemini, Brett. Yeah, okay, Brett. Give a hand to the man who's inspired me so much with his sacred astronomy. He's the kind of astrologer that like knows the map of the sky and the way everything works to a T, and is, drinks in the night sky and receives messages from the planets. So Brett, it's time for you to pull a card. Mwah, ha 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 ha. Okay, Brett is awesome. Can he pick a card? Yes, you're picking a card. Okay, that was obviously clear. So visual art, my man. All right, create a drawing or painting representing this key. So let's just, before we do representing this key, let's roll the planet die again, because we were on the sun. Well, no, since you do the new moon game and you're so moon oriented, I feel like let's stay with the sun moon conjunction in the 61. So I would invite you right now to draw a picture of psychosis, inspiration, and sanctity, or Capricorn, or whatever you're inspired to, and then take a picture of it. And since you're a tech whiz guy, I've seen you do those live Facebook Zoom videos, so pro. Upload it to the comments, and then we'll look at it, and you can give an interpretation. But in the meantime, I will also make a drawing. I came prepared. '61. This is a cowboy. It represents just a common human archetype. Here we are, just farmers of our own reality. When I am coming from my psychosis, the puny, limiting beliefs about the world give me only about that much of a view of reality. okay? We are in an entire cosmos here, people. There is so much more going on than what the filters of our mind. Johnny just hit the ditch with the tractor, and I think he's been drinking. That guy never knew how to drive a tractor since he was... I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Okay, let me give another example. Betty, you have kept me small with all of your finaglings. You go out and gossip to the... Okay, what I'm saying here is that inside of our little constructs of mind, we see reality from such a limited perspective, and it's this film. Like, is that even reality? Is this the actual intelligence of life? Can we see beyond the filters of our minds? The 61st gene key moves us from psychosis into inspiration. And inspiration is like, all right, folks, we have a body, first and foremost, that is absolutely, like, when tapped into the actual essences that are moving through our body, that is filled with so much light and so much creativity, and so instead of blocking the channels of that light and creativity with our mind and giving us only this view of reality and only so much access, we just, when we start to deconstruct these things and they start to fall away and like pattern disrupt, wait a minute, this isn't true. Actually, like, I'm opened up to so, maybe it's difficult because I have a breakdown and all of reality stops making sense as I knew it to be. But now I'm accessing so much of my limitless light and creative potential. And it starts to open up my expressions, open up my views, open up like the original possibilities of that light entering into the world. There's my drawing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So Brett was the one who pulled that card. So Brett, I drew this up real quick with a little help of Aloria Weaver and David Heskin. Everyone pull up this. Let's pin that comment. I just pinned it. But I can't see the image. It's called DNA Revelation of the Temporal Tapestry. Can everyone see that image? Because I'm on my live video, so I don't actually know if is that painting showing up? Brett, do you want us to give us an interpretation of this image that you've posted? Okay, so it's a link. I guess it's a link because some people can't see it. So it's the psychosis of contact in Mesoamerica. Say more. I wish I could like interbe. You know what? Oh, can I call you at the same time? I don't think I can because I'm on my phone. I wish I could take callers right now, and Brett, you could. So, the psychosis of contact in Mesoamerica, leading to the sanctity of global roots. Nice. This is the interpretation of the painting that Brett has posted on the comments. If you go to the link, it's an Aloria Weaver and David Heskin painting. Awesome. You guys, this is so fun. and Brett, keep giving us your comments or interpretations if you're still going. I feel like we should keep going. The sanctity of our global roots. Capricorn, our global roots. The sanctity of our global roots. That's a really great little key for this new moon. This is so fun. I just want to keep going. Usually I'm like, videos must only be 5 minutes for people to watch, but let's roll the planet dice again and see where we're taken. Venus. She enters the picture. She walks into the room and flashes her skirt to show you that there's nothing limited by her fierce feminine power. She will not be held back by red tape. She will only match the unbridled expression of true reality, of the magic within the structure. Venus is in the 60th gene key in conjunction with this new moon. I'm so glad that Venus came up. The feminine has been so flourishing in my life, and so much healing has been coming about through that stream of the heart and love and forgiveness and all of the juicy places that she comes to open up inside of us, the magnetics of attraction, the romance of life. So I love you, Russell. Okay, so let's draw a card, and I think this might be our last one. Russell, why don't you pull a card? Would you like to pull a card? I don't want to force it on anyone, but... Okay. He may have just been leaving. His comment may have said, "Love you, Amma," like I'm leaving. Oh no, he's still here. Okay. So Russell is pulling a card for Venus. Oh, ha. We have a transit card. Retrograde conjunction. Yeah, so move the token clockwise on the board until you meet the next planet. So it's telling Venus to go back to the new moon. It's saying go back and conjunct the previous place. So I think what it's doing is it's bringing the awareness that Venus is married to this new moon, and her stream is actually a part of this archetypal activation that's moving through us. So really it's this inquiry of how's your feminine going? How in contact are you with your heart? And how is this part of you informing how you can serve the world in a more effortless way? So Venus has a lot to do with value and esteem and self-worth. So when it comes to working inside of the Capricorn archetype, which we're very much doing here, I think Venus is giving us this opportunity to like bring in this concept, to connect to the truth of our worth, to get down into that place where we absolutely know where our well of intricate connection to the source of life is emanating from. And that from that place, we bring our ambitions and our achievements out into the world and bring our calling and our purpose to the stage in a way that's empowered. And it's not seeking and it's not efforting so hard that we just fall, face forward on the floor. So I feel like that's some good Venus insight about bringing our value and connection to our vocation and how that just makes us so much more effective in the world. And come on, when we're juicy, we're juicy. So let's juice up this feminine earth sign of Capricorn and bring our love more wholeheartedly to the world. I hope that was helpful, Russell. And I kind of want to keep going because this is really fun. I appreciate Susie's invitation to stop by and learn. 100% brand new. Oh, we have a new person to the Gene Keys Astrology Synthesis. Great. Welcome, Carswell. Okay, so yay, empowered from the source. Boom. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll the planet dice again and see where our contemplations go. Jupiter, thank you. Thank you. Jupiter, you're my freaking buddy right now. I love you, Jupiter. Thank you, Jupiter, for diving into the shamanic, scorpionic realms for us all to really frickin' be super effective in our transformations on the planet. Yeah, so let's see what Jupiter's calling for us inside the cards, because there's obviously a lot of epicness. Kim, would you like to draw a card? Because this is your planet. This is your planet. Clarity. Your J is in Scorpio, Kirsten. That's dope. Yeah, so is Theo's. Okay, Kim, the dragon, is going to draw a card. This is good. Life card. We haven't gotten one of these yet in the game. So when we're playing the contemplation game, there's also life cards, which invites us to have a reflection on a certain part of our life. So it's saying, how does this key challenge and support your relationships? So I'm just going to focus on, Jupiter's in the 43rd gene key that moves from the shadow of deafness to insight and epiphany. And this is like the fool's journey of really being able to stop being having the cacophony of life keep you in your bubble of reality and where you can't hear what's actually going on. It's very similar to the 57th of clarity, Miss Kim. And be available. How can we be available for breakthrough, for insight and clarity to come through our beings? So I also just love that the Jupiter and Scorpio came in. So I want to also touch on this. But what has been oracled here is her relationships. So how does this gene key support and challenge your relationships? So consider that contemplation for yourself, Kim, and you can either add your comments to the comment field, or we can talk about it in our session tomorrow. And I'm also just going to riff on this for a second. So relationships. The field of the terrain and territory of Scorpio is a relational field. Scorpio is the place where we begin to merge and share our psycho-emotional resources with each other. So we weren't really taught in our society how to have healthy, energetic connections with people or nourishing ways to really share our emotional resources. Like most of the time we're kind of like vying for resources, like based in scarcity or threat to our esteem, or it's just this constant like, oh, who's got the power, or like, ooh, the yucky feelings out there like get projected on me and then I take them into my body and now I'm contaminated with all this goo that's not mine. And Scorpio's a thick realm like that. Like it's easy to get, that's the heaviness of the shadow there. So I really love that when we brought our attention to Jupiter and Scorpio, that we pulled the card on reflecting on our relationships, because I think that as Robert O. Hotto, I love, he talks about psychic hygiene and how to stay clean as we share our psychic resources. So I want to just bring up this one concept and distinction that's really helped me in my life in emotionally processing information through my system is, am I dwelling or am I just processing through and letting move? When I've had a tendency to like dwell on things, and this is basically just obsession of the mind that just kind of focuses and operates into one mental set and then like loops in that, and then it's like and then it sort of self-perpetuates some yucky emotion it doesn't want to feel, but it just is kind of dwelling, looping. And so processing is where we see it, we feel it, we might feel the pain of whatever that is, but then we pivot and we give ourselves to some action, to some way that we can move the energy. This is so awesome in like creative improv or music making or being in our flow with our arts or our business, or I've found it to be an amazing tool to be able to work through when I'm popped out of the moment and I'm like, I just said something weird, and then I know how to bring myself back in. So I'm just riffing here, and I can feel us kind of coming to a close. If Kim has anything to say to feel complete with that turn with Jupiter, I'm sure we'll get into it tomorrow, but vision board time, I love it. Yes. Jupiter expands our consciousness, and it's where we're sitting at the mountaintop and we can see the view of our lives, and it's this seed of optimization of our potential. So how are we optimizing our potential inside of the realms of shared resources, of power, of sexuality, creativity, and so forth? I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to this Gene Key of the day. And I'm going to get my little dragonfly out here. And this has been so fun. I usually like pre-record these. And I sat there and was like, it's talking to this inert phone that was like, nobody's on the other side. Damn it, I want to talk to someone right now. Where can we get this game of life? I'll post the game on the comments when I'm done. This is the Gene Key of the Day board game that Elijah Parker and I made, and it's on the Wonderland Gene Keys website. That reminds me, I will just share that since we are in January and about to start the new year of the Gene Keys, we have this phenomenal calendar. I'm sure most of you already have it because you're the peeps, but this is the calendar for 2018, tracking the sun and the moon as it moves through the Gene Keys, as we're revealing here. So these are available on the website as well. Kirsten loves his, Kim loves her game, and you can, since we're on commercial break, You can always find your pendants, your gene key DNA pendants online too. Sweet, hit me up. I love you. You guys are amazing. Brett has a sacred astronomy lesson to celebrate the Capricorn new moon. You guys check his stuff out. He's amazing if you haven't heard. So thorough, so deeply in tune with the elements, and so creative in the ways that he expresses himself. He's one of my favorite astrologer and people on the planet. All right, thanks for tuning in to Gene Key of the Day. Yay. Gene Key of the Day. Drinking of the nectar of life.